Hi, this is 1960 Huckadoo, and I'm coming to you from White Lake State Park in Tamworth, New Hampshire. I'm getting ready to make a pulled pork in my 12-inch Dutch oven. We've got a potluck dinner tonight with a large group of my hiking friends, and so we're putting this meal together. I'm going to take you guys along and show you how it's done. Okay, we're going to start off by putting a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil in the bottom of a 12-inch Dutch oven. That should be good enough here. Roll it around a little bit, evenly coat the bottom, like so. Then on top of that, we are putting in an 8-pound pork shoulder roast. We set that in the Dutch oven like so. Okay, our next step is to mix some ingredients together for the sauce that really makes the pulled pork special. And we're going to start off with 2 cups of barbecue sauce. There we go. I like to use Sweet Baby Ray's. It's just because it's kind of sauce that I prefer, but you can use whatever you want. Next up is 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. Put that in. Next up is 1 cup of chicken broth. Add to that half a cup of brown sugar. Two tablespoons of mustard. Two tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And some spices. 2 tablespoons of chili powder and 3 teaspoons of thyme. Didn't happen to have measuring spoons in the camper, so I kind of had to guesstimate it. And finally, you need 4 cloves of garlic minced. I got lazy. I didn't buy a whole cloves. I bought the minced garlic in the jar, and I'm just going to eyeball this and toss them in. As far as I'm concerned, you can't have too little garlic. Here we go. Put that in there. And finally, the recipe calls for 2 large onions rather. I had smaller onions, so I did 4 small ones. And we'll put that in there as well. These are onions. And now what you want to do is you want to whisk all of this together. Mix it all up nice. And now I'm going to turn the camera off, so I got to reframe the shot and get the Dutch oven back in front of you. Yeah, that's good. It's all mixed up good. Okay. Final next step is you take the ingredients you just mixed together for your sauce, and you just simply pour it over your pork roast into the Dutch oven. And make sure you get it all. This is the sauce that's going to really make your pulled pork special. And I love this recipe. I've made it a few times in the crock pot. This is the first time I've done it in the Dutch oven. And the original recipe I got online was originally half of the 4-pound roast, but since I'm feeding friends, feeding a crowd tonight, I went and doubled it and used an 8-pound roast in my 12-inch DO. As you can see, we've just about filled the Dutch oven. And the lid will close on it. I did check that. So we're good. So the next step is, as soon as our coals are ready, we'll get this on the coals. And looking over here, my coals are almost ready. I got about another maybe 5 minutes before my coals are ready. And I'll show you how I arrange my coals. Okay, normally I stand in front of my windscreen when I'm working on my little Dutch oven table here, but if I did that I'd be blocking the shot, so I gotta stand behind it. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we need to lay out 9 coals. I've got my chimney full of charcoal, it's good and ready, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out 9 coals in a circle that we'll put underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 9 coals down here. I will have to block the shot a little bit. I need to lift up the oven and put it on top of this ring of coals here. And you'll notice, by the way, when I am working with my charcoal and my tongs, I do use these heavy leather welding gloves. Just to protect my hands. You never know, you might drop a charcoal or something and you don't want to burn yourself. So I recommend using these heavy leather welding gloves. Okay, now we do 14 coals around the top. So I'm just dig in here and start tossing these on. And what I try to do is once I get them on here, I arrange them in such a way that they are evenly spaced. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, we're going to do 16 on the top. And then I'll do one more. So I generally do a circle of 12 around the edge. And then I do 2 more in the center. So it gets them nice and even. Now this is a really big roast, and I'm estimating it's going to take probably 3.5, 4 hours to cook. It's 3:30 in the afternoon now, so I'm guessing this is going to be ready probably about 7:30. And I won't show this. I've shown it on the other video, but every 15 minutes or so I'm going to lift the pot, turn it 90 degrees this way, lift the lid, turn it 90 degrees the other way. And that way the number, I'll be standing over here actually, and the number on the lid is always pointing towards me. That's how I know that I'm rotating my pot in the proper way. And that just evens out any hot spots. It really shouldn't be a problem because cast iron distributes heat pretty evenly, but it does. I think it does help a little bit. So we'll check in later when the pork is done, and we'll shred it up, and you can see it swimming in all that saucy goodness. And what we're going to end up with is just what I call a big pot of love. See you later. Okay, well, funny thing happened. This pulled pork took a lot longer to cook than I had anticipated. I had started at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was not ready and able to be pulled until close to 10 o'clock at night. So we weren't able to use it for the potluck, but we've actually got some friends at our campsite, and we'll be serving this to them tonight. So we just finished cooking it and put it away. And I've just reheated it with some more charcoal, and so we'll go ahead and show you folks what it looks like. So, you know, it had an extra day just for the flavors to blend together, and here it is here. And we've got some hungry folks here, and a whole bunch of rolls, and we're going to be doing pulled pork sandwiches. Like I promised, it's a little late, but it is a big pot of love. So enjoy, and if you want to try a pulled pork in the Dutch oven, the only thing I would suggest to you is plan a long cooking time, like 5-6 hours if you're doing an 8-pound roast. Ciao. Catch you later. Peace. Hi, this is 1960 Huckadoo, and I'm coming to you from White Lake State Park in Tamworth, New Hampshire. I'm getting ready to make a pulled pork in my 12-inch Dutch oven. We've got a potluck dinner tonight with a large group of my hiking friends, and so we're putting this meal together. I'm going to take you guys along and show you how it's done. Okay, we're going to start off by putting a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil in the bottom of a 12-inch Dutch oven. That should be good enough here. Roll it around a little bit, evenly coat the bottom, like so. Then on top of that, we are putting in an 8-pound pork shoulder roast. We set that in the Dutch oven like so. Okay, our next step is to mix some ingredients together.